Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fan. This is Dave and Kevin, and we are bringing you our prognostication of the Seattle Seahawks versus the Chargers preseason action. Like always, if you're new here, subscribe. If you've come back and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know what news content is coming up from Seattle's C-Fan Sports. And make sure you leave comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. That's what we want to see from you. So let's jump right into the San Diego Chargers. Now, Kevin, I think the question that we have about the San Diego Chargers, are they the most irrelevant good team in the NFL? How do you play in probably the second largest market and be so off the map of anybody? There's very few Charger fans. Kevin, do you have an answer why that is?
Boy, I don't know. I have no idea, but I have to agree with you on that one. I've always liked the Chargers. You know, I always felt like they were the underdog, even when they were in San Diego.
Right.
You know, just a great team. Has always had some great players. I mean, Antonio Gates and, you know, and just some of these guys that have just been around forever.
Right. Go back to the good old days of Dan Fouts and Eric Coryell and you know, Joyner. Oh man, that was awesome. I remember the matchups that Seattle would have in the old AFC West where they would just be racking up points everywhere. Right. I mean, yeah, it was non-defensive battle back in the day. Anyway, Kevin.
Yeah, they're a great team. I mean, let's talk about them a little bit. I mean, they got a new head coach with Brandon Staley, who was previous defensive coordinator with the Rams last year. You know,
we know him a little bit.
Yeah, we do. And, you know, they had the rookie of the year. I mean, the quarterback, Justin Herbert, the second year. We'll see how he does this year. And then they went out and picked up, you know, quarterback Chase Daniels, just in case Herbert gets hurt. You know, he's a 13-year vet. One of my worst favorite players because of my fantasy teams. He's caused me a couple runs a few years back, and that's tight end Jared Cook. But, you know, they got great wide receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Right, and they have the tiny engine that could in the backfield with Austin Eckler. That kid is, you know, he was an undrafted free agent, came on and has done nothing except take that job and run with it. Exciting kid.
And, you know, then they got defensive end Joey Boss and, you know, Bosa, sorry. and they picked up a guy that a linebacker named Nate Evans, who was just cut by the Hawks. So, and I know you're excited about their new safety.
It's not safety, he's cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. Yep, he is comes from a long lineage of cornerbacks. His dad played for the Eagles for a long time. So man, he picked off he picked off Trey Lance the last week against San Francisco, and he looked pretty gosh darn good doing it out there. I watched some highlights of that game. I was impressed with their defense back. So it's not going to be easy for Man Yin or Gino. So
exactly.
Maybe Russell bless us with his presence in the field, but I really don't think so.
Yep.
With that being said, Kevin, let's jump right into the Seattle Seahawks and where we stand this week. We're going to go over 5 players on offense, 5 players on defense that we are keeping our eyes peeled on. So, Kevin, who's our first guy that C-Fan Sports is watching this week?
Well, I think it comes down to the running back competition between Rashard Penny, Alex Collins, and Travis Homer. Travis is back practicing this week, so they said he's going to play. So it'll be kind of fun to see that battle. I want to know who the number 2 back is. And we got. You
don't think DJ Dallas has a shot?
I think DJ Dallas is going to make this team, but he's not really in the running back competition because I believe he is that special teams player. He's that guy who can play running back if there's we need him. I don't know if he is going to surpass any of these 3, but he is making the team. And so, but I want to see who the number 2 back is because
I think it's going to be Rashard Penny.
I think one of these guys is going to get cut.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kevin, let's move on to player position number 2 that we have an eye on.
Well, wide receiver. D. Eskridge practiced last week. Rumor has it he's supposed to play a little this week. We're
Mhm.
excited to see him, but that's not really the battle we're wanting to see. I think it's going to come down to Cody Thompson and Cade Johnson for that number 6 spot. And
Again,
so
you don't think Fuller has a shot, huh?
I really don't. I think these
Right.
guys are right now have the leg up on Fuller. Fuller could have an incredible game and put his name back in the list, but I think these are the two that I'm hearing the most about.
All right, Kevin, number 3, where are we at?
Well, we're going back to what we talked about last week, this center battle. Rumor has it Kyle Fuller might be our starting center this year. And
He
so,
might edge out Posick, yeah.
yeah, so I want to see the competition between Posick because he's practicing again this week and Kyle Fuller. I still like this Brad Lundblade. I don't think he's going to make the team, but I really like what he's doing.
Well, he's getting a tape, and he could end up on our practice squad.
Yes,
All
he
right,
could.
Kevin, anybody else on offense that you're really excited to take a look at this week?
Well, obviously, I classify him as a special teamers, but DJ Dallas, he is so fun to watch, and he just excites everybody, and that's I keep seeing flashbacks of a number 24 that used to excite the fans, and I think DJ Dallas is exciting the fans.
So he's got a little beast mode in him, is what you're trying to tell me?
I don't know if he's got beast mode, but he's a fun player to watch. So
All right. All right, so Kevin, let's go ahead and just roll right over to the defensive side of the ball. Who's the first guy that you're keeping an eye on when the arrows are flying against our defense?
Well, let's talk about him. Somebody a couple days ago was stressed out about a guy we just picked up from that horrible team called the
Houston.
The Texans.
Houston, we have a problem.
Let's watch. I really want to look forward to see John Reed. What I've read is he has had a great practice week already. He's made some plays against our starting guys, and he's run neck to neck with Metcalf. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. And then obviously we want to see the continued battle between Witherspoon, Trey Brown, Trey Flowers, and sometime we might get to see DJ Reed. So
DJ Reed, absolutely, yeah. Jumping back to John Reed real quick, you're absolutely correct. I did press panic button, but then I kind of went back and I watched some of his film from Penn State. Watched some of the film from last year on the Houston Texans, and I was really, really pleasantly surprised.
Right.
I was so surprised to see how hard this kid plays the run, how hard he tackles, how he has no fear whatsoever putting his nose around the football. Seemed like he always had himself in great position for an interception or a fumble recovery. I was pretty excited about. Another thing that when I watched the tape again for the Nittany Lions is that he is a punt returner, and he's not just a punt returner. He's a good punt returner. So we'll be excited to see. He might make this team as far as on our special teams because that's the type of guy you want, somebody that's going to stick their nose in there and be able to work hard. All right, Kevin, let's move on to player position number 2.
Well, let's talk about Kerry Hyder Jr. and Robert Kimdichie. I really want to see these guys play a little bit more time, expanded time, let's put it, and just see what they do. I know that some of the starters are supposed to play this week, but I really want to see these two guys and focus on, are they, understanding our system? Are they doing what they need to be doing? I mean, we put a lot of weight into these guys, and I really want to see how it plays out.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin. If Robert Kimdichie comes out and he has a good game against the San Diego Superchargers, will the Geno Atkins talk be done?
I would have to think no.
No? Okay.
No, and the reason why is I think Geno's his own separate thing. If you can get Geno on a pretty inexpensive deal, you have to take it.
Okay. All right, Kevin says we have to take it. Again, if you agree with Kevin, make sure you put it into those comments down below. Let's go ahead, Kevin. Let's move on to player position battle number 3.
Well, it's not really a battle, but I want to see if Darrell Taylor has a bounce back game, because last game boy, did I think he looked lost. I did
Okay.
not I did not see what everybody else is raving about. Yes, he's very fast, but when you're lost and you can't get around the edge, I'd rather see you sitting on the bench and have somebody else do it and bring in KJ.
Oof.
Sorry.
Endorsement for KJ Wright. I'm trying to keep Gino on the street. Kevin's trying to get KJ Wright here. All right, Kevin. So anybody else on defense that really you really want to take a good look at this week?
Well, I hope to see Marquise Blair.
Ah,
And
hey,
I don't know if we're going to, because I know that they want to keep him healthy.
gotcha.
So, but I would like to see how he's progressing. I'm okay if we don't, but I'd really like to see him if he makes the field.
All right. All right, Kevin. Well, this is time for us to boil this sucker down. We brought out all the juices. Now we're going to marinate on the score. Kevin, give me your final score this week for the San Diego Superchargers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Your score is?
Well, I'm going to go for the trifecta.
All right.
Seattle 24, Los Angeles Chargers 17.
Oof. All right, Kevin's got more faith than I do. I am fortunately 2 weeks in a row are going to go for the team that's visiting, just because we have so many players that on our team that are starters that are not going to be out there. I'm going to take the Seattle Seattle Seahawks. Wow. Seattle Seahawks 10, San Diego Superchargers 17. Make sure that you guys tune into us. We'll have another show coming up next week. Kevin, any last words? Go Hawks.